Hey 49er fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports. Before we start today's video, this 49ers report is brought to you guys by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% off your first order plus free shipping. The link is down below in the description box. All right, we jump into a Monday news and rumor video, and there's a lot of fun stuff to go ahead and dive into that we heard and learned about over the weekend. We will start with ESPN's free agency prediction that the 49ers could go ahead and sign T.Y. Hilton, the former Colts wide receiver, as ESPN predicted every single team's free agent signings, and they have the 49ers taking Hilton, the 32-year-old who is honestly going into the free agency for the first time in his career. He's been a Colt his entire career, and they like the idea of bringing in somebody to add experience and a little veteran leadership to the wide receiver room, which honestly doesn't sound too bad. I mean, listen, let's go and throw up the quote here from T.Y. Hilton, or from, ESPN on T.Y. Hilton. They say, quote, Hilton would certainly be looking to join a contender in his age 32 season, and the 49ers are a fit. Deebo Samuel, 2019 second-round pick, and Brandon Ayuk, 2020 first-round pick, form a potential outstanding duo, but injuries and inexperience loom large. Hilton would bring reliability and a veteran presence to the wide receiver room. Can't really argue with that. I mean, listen, T.Y. Hilton's 32 years old, a little bit up there in age. He might be a little too expensive, which is one reason why I would not sign him. But if he would come over for a decent price that wouldn't break the bank for the 49ers, I think they could go ahead and have him really progress on his 2020 numbers. You see him on your screen right now. That's not bad. And consistency is key here. He played 15 games for the Colts last year, which is a lot more than what Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel were going ahead and able to play. Listen, I'm interested in another wide receiver. I've said that I'm interested in another wide receiver. I normally think about the draft because you can get someone in the later rounds who's cheaper and could be a breakout star versus signing an older guy like T.Y. Hilton. But the idea of bringing in another wide receiver interests me based on the idea ESPN just said. Injuries have been a problem, and veteran leadership is a little bit of an issue because Deebo is only going into year 3, and Ayuk is only going into year 2. They don't need one. So I expect Jalen Hurd to hopefully be able to be the number 3 wide receiver, and you re-sign Kendrick Bourne. You got 4 there. That honestly would be fine in the Kyle Shanahan offense, but I wouldn't hate the idea of bringing in T.Y. Hilton at the right price or any of the other free agent wide receivers who are, not fantastic, as we've gone through the list previously here on the channel, but at least something to go ahead and bolster the depth chart at a needed position where if they can stay healthy, they'd be fine, but health has been an issue, and you can't guarantee staying healthy going into 2021. What do you guys think? You guys want the 49ers to sign a free agent wide receiver? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. Be a pinned comment, the first comment down below me. Let's see what you guys think about this one. All right, let's move on here to a very interesting article on USA Today that suggests the 49ers should sign Cam Newton, which is bizarre and weird, and I guess I have to give my thoughts on this, but I mean, listen, this article is fascinating because it basically breaks down or tries to, via statistics, that Cam Newton is actually better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's very long and lengthy and gives you a lot of numbers, and it's like, okay, I get it. Cam Newton at one point was better than Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'm old enough to remember last year where Jimmy Garoppolo was obviously not playing, but Cam Newton was playing for the New England Patriots, and he was terrible. I mean, he was really, really, really bad. Now, I guess the good thing here is that Pro Football Focus has projected that Cam Newton will cost like $5 million a year. So if you wanted to go ahead and cut Jimmy Garoppolo or trade Jimmy Garoppolo and sign a cheap quarterback, then I guess this makes sense. But I'm really out on Cam Newton being good at all in the future in terms of the NFL. Here's the Niners Wire write-up on Cam Newton via the USA Today article. Quote, 49ers should be pursuing potential upgrades at quarterback through the draft and trade market if a player like Dak Prescott or Deshaun Watson becomes available. However, even if they fail to land an elite option, it's hard to justify Jimmy Garoppolo's contract, especially with similar effective option like Cam Newton is available at potentially less than a quarter of the price. Yes, he would be a lot cheaper, but similarly effective is a very hot take there to say that he's similarly effective to Jimmy Garoppolo. I know Garoppolo's injury history is kind of an issue, but don't tell me Cam Newton was effective last year. 15 games in New England, he had 8 touchdowns. 12 rushing touchdowns, but 8 passing touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. I mean, the guy was not good, and New England missed the postseason for the first time since, I was a baby whenever Tom Brady just began. I mean, it's unbelievable to think. I guess they missed it whenever it was Brady got hurt that one year, and then it was the backup. I forget his name right now, but I digress. I mean, they missed it for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. Here's the nuts and bolts of this article. I get the idea that maybe you can resurrect Cam Newton's career, but what I saw last year is a washed-up Cam Newton. I know he didn't have a lot of help in New England. You can argue, the offensive line, or the passing game wasn't that great, or Kyle Shanahan could go ahead and fix him. That's a big if for a guy, again, that seems very, very washed up and has not had a good year in his career, really, since the Super Bowl run all the way back in, was it 2015? 2015? It feels like a very, very long time ago. I'm out on Cam Newton. I understand the idea, and then the reason you write the article is to get the clicks, and we talk about it here, and it's like, well, Cam Newton could be good if he could get back to his old self, but I don't see that happening. I'd much rather have Jimmy Garoppolo, much rather have Garoppolo than Cam Newton. That leads us into the Athletics article, which reporting that another quarterback, another mobile quarterback, is something the 49ers have looked into. Maybe it gives you more validity in terms of signing Cam Newton, because apparently, according to The Athletic, the 49ers did call Carolina to gauge Bridgewater's trade interest levels as the Panthers continue to look to upgrade at quarterback. With Bridgewater having a massive cap hit for 2021, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it is interesting that San Francisco would call about Teddy Bridgewater, as I don't see him as much of an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo either, and yet here we are. This has been reported, and it is true that they at least picked up the phone. Now, you guys should be subscribed, and this is why you should, because we get down to the nuts and bolts, the nitty-gritty of the channel here in terms of covering everything we possibly can, and I'm trying to get to 33,000 subscribers by my next live show, and we're just a couple hundred away here as we're at 32,735. So make sure you guys subscribe. Help me out. Subscribe down below to the 49ers Report, as we are approaching 33,000 strong here on the Best 49er channel on YouTube. So Joe Person, a guy actually I have talked to when I used to work and live in Carolina, had this about Teddy Bridgewater. Quote, you probably heard, the Panthers are interested in finding an upgrade for quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. The rest of the NFL has gotten the message as well. San Francisco is one of the teams that have called Carolina to gauge the Panthers' interest, potentially trading Bridgewater, according to league sources. San Francisco general manager John Lynch indicated last week the 49ers have to find a solid backup as insurance for oft-injured starter Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, I mean, listen, I'm out on Bridgewater, and I'm out on him being a backup. I don't think Bridgewater wants to be a backup. I don't think Bridgewater is bad enough to be a backup, but I don't want him to be the starter of the 49ers. And I think bringing him in to compete with Jimmy Garoppolo is just going to cause more good than harm. I've talked a lot about how if you have two decent quarterbacks and you create quarterback controversy, you get a lot of drama throughout the season. Because if Garoppolo struggles a little bit, then half of the fan base wants to call for Teddy Bridgewater to play, but in reality, Bridgewater is not going to be much better overall. I'd much rather have just Josh Rosen be the backup and see if he can go ahead and revitalize his career in San Francisco. That seems to be what they're going to try to do. There's no hate on Teddy Bridgewater. I thought he was good the past couple of seasons in Carolina, but it's very clear that Carolina is done with him as they're looking to upgrade, whether it's Watson or go through the draft with the number 8 overall pick, and I don't want anyone's leftovers at quarterback. Again, I'd much rather roll with Garoppolo if my options are either Cam Newton or Teddy Bridgewater. Now, maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You can tell me which of the three you'd like to go ahead and sign right now, or at least be your starting quarterback in 2021. Type CN down below for Cam Newton. Type TD down below for Teddy Bridgewater, or JG for Jimmy Garoppolo. I would expect a lot of people to comment Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'll leave it up to you guys here with the Cam Newton rumor news, and then, of course, the hard actual evidence that 49ers did call about Teddy Bridgewater. Crazy stuff. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Before we keep going, big shout out to our sponsor for today's video, Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/49ers for 20% for your first order plus free shipping. Go and pick up the perfect package. Get the perfect grooming tools for all of your needs, which are, I'm going to tell you, incredible. The Lawnmower 3.0, one of the main reasons why I'm rocking my mustache right now. Not bad looking overall. 8-hour battery. You can use it in the shower. Got the light there. Feels hard to reach places. Absolutely fantastic. Also get the travel bag, the toner, and the deodorant. All of it right now will be on sale for 20% off your first order plus free shipping when you go to our link, manscaped.com/49ers. Link is down below right now in the description box. Okay, final news story here on a Monday. I was thinking about this over the weekend. I'm like, why haven't they re-signed Trent Williams? And I've been asked a lot. It's like, will they re-sign Trent Williams? And I keep saying, yes, of course they will. Why would they not re-sign Trent Williams? And yet we are 16 days away from free agency, and he's still not signed. And now I'm reading reports that many expect Trent Williams to go ahead and hit and test free agency and potentially leave San Francisco, which means left tackle is suddenly a mega need for the 49ers. Now, if Trent Williams does leave, I personally would go ahead and draft somebody like a Rashawn Slater at number 12 overall out of Northwestern. But some are suggesting that Justin Skule could be the starter at left tackle because he's the really only other option right now currently on the roster. SI.com has the write-up on Trent Williams. Quote, this is interesting. Trent Williams could lead the 49ers in a few weeks from now. I'd say there's a high likelihood that he is as good as gone. That will leave the 49ers with yet another position of need. Worst part of all is that they would be desperate at left tackle for a second consecutive offseason. 49ers could always look to draft a player as Williams' replacement, but there are other areas they might want to reserve their draft capital for, which I guess makes sense. But I'm telling you, if you don't have a left tackle going into the next season, it's going to be big-time concern level for me. I mean, what do you guys think? If Williams doesn't come back, what's your concern with the offensive line and more specifically the left tackle spot? Scale 1 to 10. 10 meaning you're very concerned, 1 meaning you're not concerned at all. I'm at least at a 7 or an 8 because left tackle is crucial for every single football team, and not having that shirt up would be a mega problem. Now, the SI.com article suggests that Justin Skule would be possible replacement option. We saw him start just a couple of years ago in his rookie season back in 2019. He was up and down. He wasn't terrible, but I just don't know if we want to put all of our hopes from the offensive line perspective, which was a little shaky last year anyway, into a third-year guy named Justin School, who's not a top overall draft pick. I mean, I would much rather draft somebody and let them be the starter, as there are some really good left tackle draft prospects going into this year's draft. I mean, Penei Sewell is probably going to be a top 10 draft pick, maybe even a top 5, but then you got Rashawn Slater, Christian Darrison from Virginia Tech. I mean, there are some good ones there. Vera Tucker out of USC. Any of those guys makes a lot of sense and could be a real option for the 49ers at number 12. As I said before, I'd much rather just re-sign Trent Williams. I think the 49ers will re-sign Trent Williams. I'll believe that until they don't. But the fact he's not re-signed right now, whereas most left tackles don't enter free agency at all because teams want to lock them up so quickly, is concerning. And we need to be on Trent Williams' re-sign watch right now, because if they don't re-sign him, that's another big position of need when the Niners already have some at defensive end, and more specifically at cornerback and safety as well. Again, make sure you guys are subscribed. Best offseason coverage here for our 49ers on YouTube as we break down all the latest news and rumors here almost on a daily basis. We'll do some mailbag videos later on this week, and so stay tuned for all the great content coming up here in the first weekend of March. For the 49ers Report and Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott. All the time here, we sign off for the rest of your day.